Wait, retiring? What you talking about, Willis? Hello everyone and welcome to my movie shelf. Today we'll be going over my personal top 5 favorite Bruce Willis films. In case you haven't heard, Bruce just announced he'll be retiring from acting after being diagnosed with aphasia. For those that are unaware, aphasia is a brain condition that causes a person to have difficulties with communication and language, which are kind of important for his chosen profession. There are a few different types that each have their own challenges. If you're interested in learning more about the disorder, as per hopkinsmedicine.org, I've included a link in the description. Also, get used to hearing that, as I'll be including links to most of the topics we talk about so you can go see it for yourself. But before we get into the list, I'm going to go over a bit of his 4-decade career. Even though we primarily think of him as a movie actor, his fame reaches all parts of the entertainment industry. In fact, he was even one of the original investors in the Planet Hollywood restaurants, along with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. In the late 80s, he released a studio album with Motown Records called The Return of Bruno. It features the single, Respect Yourself. He had a follow-up album only 2 years later, If It Don't Kill You, It Just Makes You Stronger. Link to Respect Yourself and some other music in the description so you can hear how it sounds. He also starred in a PlayStation 1 game called Apocalypse. I've never actually played it, but after reading a few reviews, it actually sounds kind of fun. Let me know in the comments if you've played it. This guy's done it all, including being one of the leads of the Broadway adaptation of Stephen King's Misery back in 2015. As for television, he's made all sorts of guest appearances on hit shows over the years. There'll be links in the description for all of these small screen roles. There was an episode of The Twilight Zone in which he has a conversation with himself about his life and future path. He was also in an episode of Miami Vice as a scumbag criminal that was untouchable to regular cops. He had a short cameo on That 70s Show as a sleazy club manager that was done as a favor to Ashton Kutcher. And was in an animated children's show with Mark Hamill named Bruno the Kid, about a young spy whose online avatar looks oddly familiar. After losing a bet to Matthew Perry, he made a guest appearance on Friends, and had to donate his fee to a charity for Hurricane Katrina relief. But he still got the last laugh as he won an Emmy for his guest spot. So good on him. Another show for which he won an Emmy was with Sybil Shepherd in Moonlighting. It ran in the late 80s for 5 seasons. Speaking of fives, it's time to get into the man's film career, starting with number 5 on my list of favorite Bruce Willis movies. Number 5, Die Hard. He became one of the poster boy action heroes of the 90s with his performance while launching a franchise. It's a fun action flick, and I love that it's also a low-key Christmas movie. Quick fact, he was working on Moonlighting at the time, but when his co-star Sybil Shepherd got pregnant, he was able to take the role. Which is kind of weird to think of somebody else playing John McClane at this point. Number 4, The Sixth Sense. This movie was such a big deal when it came out. The marketing hype was real. I remember the first time I saw this and didn't know the twist, it was such a fun experience. It may not be as good the more times you rewatch it, but I do think it's what most people should at least try and see once in their life. Number 3, The Fifth Element. I love how weird and wacky this film is. It has that over-the-top Total Recall-like energy, plus having Mila Jovovich, Gary Oldman, and a more than hilarious Chris Tucker fill in the gaps never hurts. It's great. Number 2, Unbreakable. I've loved this movie from the first trailer I saw. The dark, realistic vibe had me hooked. Plus Sam Jackson and Bruce play off each other perfectly in this. And the plot twist is one of my all-time favorites. It's not just me either. I've heard from multiple people they think it's the best comic book movie made to date. And that's fair enough. And now time for some honorable mentions from across his resume that lasted over 40 years. Glass, Motherless Brooklyn, Death Wish, The Expendable movies, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Moonrise Kingdom, Armageddon, Pulp Fiction, The Jackal, The Whole Nine Yards movies, The Siege, Sin City, Tears of the Sun, Look Who's Talking films, Looper, Red 1 and 2, Ocean's 12, Death Becomes Her, Last Man Standing, Hudson Hawk, and so many more on top of all these. But before we get to number 1, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more movie reviews. Comment down below what your favorite film of his is and why. Once again, there's links for everything we've talked about in the description, including a trailer for all 5 of the movies in case you haven't seen one yet. Now, for the top spot. Number 1, 12 Monkeys. In my opinion, it's an absolute must-watch for either the sci-fi or time travel genre, and the theme song is amazing, will be drilled into your head immediately. It has a ton of great acting highlighted by both Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt among others. It's weird, bleak, entertaining, and has a really cool ending that I've always appreciated, even when I was younger. Now for a quick recap of my picks. At number 5, Die Hard. Number 4, The Sixth Sense. Number 3, The Fifth Element. Number 2, Unbreakable. And my number 1 choice was 12 Monkeys. What do you say about a man with a career that lasts this long and means so much to so many different people? Well, to me, it's just one thing. Thank you. Thank you for all the roles in all the movies and all the shows. And hey, thanks for even showing us gamers some love. Damn, I really want to try that Apocalypse game now. Anyways, what's your top 5 look like? Thanks for watching, be well, and yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. If you enjoyed this video, you can click here for my previous review. Thanks for watching.